I want to introduce Lulu Msimango from Standard Bank. She's an executive financial planner, and she's going to come and talk to us about savings and investing. Lulu has been an advisor in the industry in various roles for the past 21 years, so she knows what she's talking about. For estate planning and also for preserving wealth. On the lighter side, we were talking about what does she like, and she says she likes to travel. And one of her goals is to visit all 54 countries in Africa. And I think she mentioned you visited 2. So there's 52 more to go, and she'd also like to go to Sydney. So we wish you well, and floor is yours.
Hello, everybody. How are you? Are you well today? Can I see you wave your hands? Don't be so serious. We're going to talk about something very interesting today. Money. We all love it, ne? And we all want to have it, right? Okay, so we must work hard, have it, and also preserve it. So they just said I'm Lulu Msimango, and I'm with Kamo here, my colleague. We're all from Standard Bank. So I'm not going to be talking to you about the Standard Bank products, but we're just going to talk about money and how we keep it. Oh, okay. Sorry. Sorry, guys. Technology. Okay. All right. So I'm a financial advisor, and I've been with the bank for 21 years, basically. So most of my youth, I have been with the bank. I can say I grew up there. And I landed to financial planning, and I've been loving it. So I just want to ask, what is your relationship with money? I know that you're not going to give me an answer, but you must think about it. When you think money, does it give you stress? Do you get anxiety? Does it make you excited? Because how you feel about money then determines how you actually spend it. So you need to have, first, a good relationship with money. You need to love it and know that you can spend it wisely. So other people, when they think about money, it comes envy because you wish that you have someone else's money, and others become greedy because they want to have all the money, and they would do anything just to keep it or obtain it. So then you need to sort of have a good relationship so that you do not fall into this trap of greed, and you're finding yourself doing wrong things to get the money. So you need to evaluate your relationship with money. So the old way of doing investment is we go to the bank and we're looking for the highest interest rate. So things are changing, and now we're looking for goals-based investing. And what do we mean by that? So the traditional approach of investing is that you're looking for interest. When we say risk, we mean that are you a conservative investor or are you an aggressive investor? And based on how you feel because you are afraid to lose some money, and then you would invest conservatively, and yet you're investing for a longer period. So it doesn't help you at all. And then from there, you fulfill your goals based on what you have earned. But a new approach is what we call goal-based approach. So the goal-based approach, you look at your goals first. What is it that I want to achieve? And then from there, you prioritize your goals, then it will determine the risk. So, for example, if I have a shorter goal, then I would look for a shorter investment. I do not have to take a risk on that investment. But if I have a longer goal, like retirement, then I would look at having, taking risk so that I can be able to take advantage of the market. So investing is all about you staying in the market for a certain period. So, for example, if I want to go on a trip in December, there's no need for me to go and invest my money in stocks because it will be difficult to get it out, and also it's risky because the market is volatile. But just for me, I need to save for 12 months. I can put my money in a fund or in a savings account that would just earn me some good interest, and then at the end of the year, I take my money and then I use it for my trip. So you need to actually look at the goals. What is it that I want to do? And also then you look at how long do I want to do that? Then it will actually tell you where to invest your money. So the traditional way of doing things is we look first for the performance, and then the goal is the last thing. But now we just turn it around. So this is the an example, or you need to visualize your goals. So I know that as we are here, we are in a different life stages in our lives. So others are still leaving school, about to start in a job, and others are working. So others have children, and others now their children are a bit older. So with your different life stage, then you need a different savings. If you're still starting out, you always need to think about retirement, because we all want to enjoy in retirement. Right now, you're saying that I'm young and 55 years is so far, but then they say compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world. So then when you start saving for your retirement early, then you build up, and then the compound interest will work for you. So if you want to build wealth, then you look at 30 years from now, how old will I be? Then you can save for big things there. Or maybe to pay off your bond, then you look at longer years. But from today up until the next year or something like that, you look at shorter goals or things that you want to achieve now. And so you start, when you think about saving, you think of what is it that I need to achieve. So others, we're still at school while we're working. So then it's a shorter goal, because when you think about a 3-year course, then you are saving towards that 3-year course. A house, normally, a bond is 20 years. So you would take a bond and think that, okay, I want to pay off this bond before certain years. So then now you would think of saving more towards that bond. So now we're changing the old approach to the new approach of goal-based planning. And so here I've given you the example to say that based on the goal that you have, you can actually prioritize them as you wish. This is just an example. But in your savings, retirement must be there, wealth building must be there, and then depending on what you would like to do, then you can have a different slide here. So for example, I like to travel. So in December, I know that I must have money to travel, whether I go to Mpumalanga, whether I go to Cape Town, wherever. So in my slide, I will always have something that says travel. And that would be maybe, it's not a high priority because it's not a need. It can either happen or don't happen. But for example, a holiday home is a need, but then you can also decide at what years do you want to achieve that. Or settling a bond, as I was saying, you can decide at how many years do you want to do that. Then you can prioritize the lows and the highs of your savings. So then that will determine the risk that you need to take. Because for a fund, or maybe for the risk tolerance to be low, you need to be in a conservative fund, and it will actually speak to how long are you going to be staying there. But for retirement, I would actually be in a high-risk fund because your money is going to be sitting there for a longer period. But then for goals that are shorter, you need to be in a conservative fund so that, because the money is going to stay there not for a long time. So what is the difference between savings and investment? To us or to everyone, in putting my money away. So with the savings, it's actually you earn interest on the money that you save. And definitely the capital is guaranteed and you have access. Some savings account, they don't allow you access because they are based on a term. And there's no risk. What do we mean when we say there's no risk? We mean that your capital and your interest, they're actually guaranteed. So there's no way that you will lose your money. And but normally savings is for a shorter period because most of the time when you're sitting in a savings account, you do not beat inflation. And when you are investing, you're looking for something that is actually gonna beat inflation. Because there's no point in you keeping your money and it cannot buy you the things that you want to buy at a certain year. We know almost that the price of bread always increases every year. So 3 years ago, the price of bread was not the same as today, right? So that is because of inflation. So when you put your money away, you need to make sure that you beat inflation. And so this type of investment enables you to save money for a specific purpose, such as like a dream holiday. So I call them parking bays. So it's just that the money you want to have access to without any trouble, so that's where you keep it. If you go to different banks, they have different products on these savings account. And of course, you can go to Standard Bank and we'll be able to help you with that. And when it comes to investment, then we're talking about wealth creation or wealth building. I think they say wealth creation because then when you think wealth, you're thinking long term. In most of them, capital is not guaranteed. Why do I say most of them? Because other vehicles, you find that the capital is guaranteed, but in most of these investments, the capital is not guaranteed. We'll go into the examples, then I will tell you more about it. And so investing is the process of using your money to buy an asset that has a good probability of generating an acceptable rate of return. So basically, when you speak about investing, you need to think about something that you buy, but it's not going to give you income right now. It will give you income in the future. It could be a property or stock or bonds. You're buying it now, not for the returns now, but then for the returns in future. And you find that most of the time, the investments here, they will give you a higher return. We say potential return because they're not guaranteed. The returns are not guaranteed. They're not guaranteed. They do fluctuate. And you can invest in different portfolios to actually help your risk. Why do we say that, and how does it help your risk? If you invest in different classes, then it sort of manage your risk. So, for example, if you invest in property and the property market is not doing well, if you just invested in property, then you might lose a lot. But if you invested in property and you invested in a bit of cash and bonds, if the property market is not doing well, the cash will actually be the one that is helping you. So these type of investment include stock, bonds, and it's stock, bonds, property, and cash. So why do we use these? Or where are you supposed to use the investments and the savings? So like I said, with savings account, it's an emergency fund for rainy days. So if you want to have money so that if your TV breaks or maybe you just need excess money, then you can use a savings account because you can access your funds easily and also with no notices at times, or the notice is not that bad and you do not lose, they don't have penalties. And you can use it, maybe you want to save for a house, you want to buy a house in 6 months or in 12 months, so you can use to keep the money away for in a savings account for that, or if you're saving for a holiday, or maybe if you're saving for short-term education costs like textbooks or anything that you need to use in a short space of time, then you can use the savings accounts. And with investments, then it's more for the future. It's more for building your wealth. It's more for retirement fund. It's more for your children's university fund, because then we look at a long term. So it needs you to stay longer in the market. So everything that you need to do with the investment, it's for a longer term so that you can be able to take advantage of the market. So where to put your money then? In savings account, it's interest-bearing accounts. So money markets, fixed deposit, notice deposits, and tax-free call accounts. So most of the banks, they do have all these accounts. When you come in and say you're looking for a money market account, you're looking for a fixed deposit. So a money market is an account where you put your money, you have access to it with immediate effect, but then it earns you an interest. A fixed deposit, you put your money there, and it's fixed for a certain term. So you can say that I want to fix my money for 6 months, then they fix it for you, or for 12 months, then you can only get it at the end of 12 months. But you can still go up to 5 years, but then it depends on what you need. And also notice deposit, you can choose a 7 days, 30 days notice to say that if I need this money, then you put in a notice for maybe that 7 days. And tax-free call accounts, if there's any investment that you need to take advantage of, is a tax-free account. Why? Because with all investments and savings, when you earn an interest, you pay tax from what you have earned. So a tax-free call account, whatever money you put in there, then the profit or the growth or the interest of it, you do not pay tax on it. So tax-free call account, for me, I would say use it for long term. So the nice thing about the tax-free call account, you find that in most of the banks, to open it, they need a minimum amount, and they don't say that you have to have a debit order. You can actually put in money as and when you need to. So a year, you can actually invest up to 36,000, and for a lifetime, you can invest up to 500,000. So over time, that account is actually good for you, because whatever you earn as an interest, you don't pay tax on it. With every investment, you pay tax. So you put in your 500 rands every month, and it grows to 500,000. Now you have 500,000 in your pot. After a year, you've earned 40,000 on this 500,000. When you do your tax, there's a part there that said interest earned. Then you put that interest earned, and then it forms part of the tax that you pay to SARS. So you will, I see a hand. Maybe I'll take the questions when I'm done. So then there's a tax-free amount, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's 23,800 that they take away on your interest, and then any amount above that, it will actually be added on your income as tax. So tax-free call account, it's the best. Anywhere you go where they offer investments or savings, they will have that. Make use of that. You can even use for your children. So I've got 2 kids, so I take one for myself, and I take one for my daughter, and I take one for my son, and we all save in that tax-free account. And when it comes to then investments, we have endowments. Endowments, it's one of the investment where most of the time your capital is guaranteed. So this is one type of investment where most of the time your capital is guaranteed. It's one of the rigid investments, because it comes with a term, and the term most of the time minimum is 5 years. So if you put your money in there, you have to keep it for 5 years. If you withdraw within that 5 years, then they're gonna charge you a penalty. Then we have unit trust. Unit trust, it's more flexible. You can access your funds as and when. Your capital is not guaranteed. you have the advantage of being in the stock market, but with some safety. So what happens with unit trust, fund managers, they group they group some stocks for you. So they will go to different companies, buy stocks, and they decide that in that particular fund, let's say they call it a property fund, and then they buy different stocks that form the property fund, and they manage it for you. So then you find that if that one property company, there's a problem with it, maybe the other property companies are doing well, so then you don't lose a lot. So they will manage the fund on your behalf. So it's like you are buying shares, but you're buying it in a form of units in that particular fund. So it's a good investment. It's volatile, so it doesn't guarantee your capital or your return, but over time, it tends to perform much better than the savings account. But most of the time, it requires you to sit in the investment so that you gain, we always experience that the market goes up and down. So then, if you stay longer, you find that the up and downs, they normally have an upward trajectory. So then it's good to actually invest in unit trust. Then you have stocks and shares. Stocks, basically, it's you going to the JSE and you buy stock. So if you like Standard Bank stock, then you buy it directly there. So if Standard Bank is doing well, then you are benefiting on that. So you can choose basically any stocks that you have, that you like. And most of now, you find that most of the companies, they make it easy. You can actually start buying stock and shares with 250 rands. There's so many platforms, but you must also be careful of the fake ones. So the banks as well, they do have platforms now where you can buy stocks and shares at a lower amount. So you can buy that, you buy the companies that you believe in, that you like, and see how they perform. Most of the time, they will even give you a history on how they're doing and the history about that stock, so it helps you to decide. And very important, retirement savings. When you start early to save for your retirement, you get advantage on compound interest. So then, when you reach my age, where you are 11 years to 55, then you would have had enough in your pot. So it's important that you save for retirement. It's not all of us that are gonna have businesses so that you know that my business maybe is gonna take care of me. If you're gonna be joining the normal workforce, then you must start early to save for retirement. So there are also a lot of companies that are doing this. It could be also from a minimum of 250 rands, then you can start. So also, we have tax-free unit trust. You can also get a tax-free in stocks and shares, and you can get a tax-free in unit trust. So tax-free, if you do not have it now, you must just, after this, go out there and open one, because it's a good vehicle, because you're not gonna save. I mean, you're not gonna be taxed on what you have saved for. That's the end of my story. I saw there was a question. So I don't know if there are any questions, but I'll start with the lady. Or did I answer it? No, you didn't. Okay, I think you can go ahead.
Okay, I just want to find out in terms of the tax-free call account.
So most of the time it depends also on how you approach the banker. So if you say to the banker, I'm looking for the highest interest. So on those accounts or on those different accounts, the highest interest there, I'm going to talk about my bank and my experience. The highest interest there will be a money market, right? And the next one, maybe a fixed deposit over 5 years. So if you come and say that I'm looking for the highest interest, then the banker zooms in on what is the highest interest. But then now we need to remember, from now we're changing, and we are now doing goal-based. Because before we were looking for the highest interest. And you know what is the disadvantage about the savings accounts? All of them, they have a higher tax. So then now, if you invested a lot of money in that space in the savings account, you're going to pay a higher tax because all of them, they earn an interest. But if you are this side, for example, if you save your money in an endowment, it's taxed in the fund. So when you receive it on your hands, you don't pay tax because the tax is already paid for you. If you are in unit trust, there's different tax that goes in there. There's income tax, there's CGT, there's dividends as well. So then it reduces your tax. But then if you are on that side, you pay a lot of tax. So sometimes it's how you approach the bank. Then they don't give you the whole list. But then if you come and say that, I would like to put some money away, they would ask you for how long, and do you want to have access or not? Then they would give you a different account, yeah. But if you come and say that you're looking for the highest interest, then they would just zoom in to the highest interest. So then you find that you don't know about it. Yes. So from now on, you must be interested in listening to the budget speech, because some of the things are in there, yes. So when the budget speech comes out, then the following day, just listen to the news and hear what they are talking about. So they will always touch on the tax-free. It's either they're increasing the amount. They will always touch on retirement savings. I mean, now you're hearing about the two-pot system. Yes. So then they will always touch on those things. So, but then going forward, you must just go and have a tax-free account.
So on the tax-free account, which means there is no higher interest?
Well, it depends, because in the tax-free account, it's a call account, so the interest is there, but then you might find that it's not higher than in the money market. Yes, yeah. But then now, when you think about it, let's say I'm earning 7% on the money market, and I'm earning 5% on the tax-free. And then in the money market, I'm still gonna pay tax. And then in the tax-free, I'm not gonna pay tax. Maybe over time, in the tax-free, I'm gonna make more money than in the money market, because you still, and remember that the tax is actually determined by how much you are earning. So if you're based on your income and your bracket, then it will determine how much tax you're actually gonna pay. Yeah. Yeah, and also you can still do tax-free on this side in the investment part. Yes. Any other question? All right. Thank you so much then. If then you need anything, you can just call on us and then we'll be able to assist you. Thank you.
I'm going to turn this. I'd rather take it off. Thank you, Lulu. Just a few things takeaway that I found from this session, and I'm sure you got it as well. Thank you for clarifying the difference between savings and investing, because in my mind, used to be the same. So savings over a short period of time, earning investment for something that you need over the short time, like a deposit for a car or just books, short-term things, and then investment, that's savings for a long term, like our retirement. Okay. Then another important point, making use of the resources available. So before going online and just opening a savings account, rather go in and go see a banker, go see Lulu, so that she can open the correct account for you, so that you don't pay too much tax and that you get the best interest. If not the banker, remember, SDC Wealth, financial planners, come to us as well. Thank you so much, Lulu, for coming through today. Thank you guys for attending and the online for listening.